How do you deal with failure?
You know, failure is an interesting one. Everybody likes to say, oh, you celebrate failure and it's all really great. It is not easy.
25 years ago, AT&T would have felt very proud of its legacy and innovation, 8 Nobel Prizes in the 20th century. But the acronym of AT&T was not just AT&T, the abbreviation. It was actually also NIH, not invented here. You were the pantheonic powerhouse of only working with technologies that you had created with your own people. And things have changed. Tell us about some of those changes.
While those 8 Nobel Prizes, we're very proud of them, and I could point to a lot of things that have happened from them. For us, a lot of those were invention. We never really innovated and capitalized on those inventions. There is a difference in invention and innovation. And there was a wide gulf in sort of what we invented, but we couldn't quite innovate on that. So we kind of looked at our employee suggestion base and said, we've got 250,000 employees. I think we're like the size of Iceland, okay, with maybe a bigger GDP. But we never listened to them. We listened to a very narrow set of people. So we created a crowdsourced employee marketplace that we call the innovation pipeline. And we thought if we get 10, 20,000 people to come in and put up ideas and the crowd votes, it'd be great. We got 130,000 people on there. And that just tells you how much pent-up frustration was there. Okay? That now generates about 500 ideas every month. Every 3 months, we do like an American Idol, where the top 10 ideas come in, present it, and get funding on the spot. That was
how much funding do you give it?
We put in roughly about $10 to $20 million a year. Okay, and we've been doing this for about 4 years. Very, very successful program for us. If you look at the future, only a small percentage of the products that run on the broadband platforms we're laying in the industry, $100 billion invested in the last 5 years, will be ours. But we weren't really building it that way. So we've actually disaggregated that network into different layers, horizontal layers that we're opening up, saying you want to take portions of that for what you build on top, go for it. We created a physical space called a foundry, okay? Because we started reaching out to VCs and startups, and that was great. But the minute we brought them into the system, or one of these ideas that we put out of here, the system crushes it. Not because they're bad, okay? Because the system is so heavy in the way it's configured. So we created a third place called a foundry. And we chose the word foundry very deliberately because you see these innovation facilities that are cropping up like, literally flies on a hot summer day in Silicon Valley. And 90% of them are like showcases or petting zoos. Okay, they're not working labs. And so we wanted to have something that would distinguish what we did. We have engineers and designers and product managers in our lab.
Can you give one example of something that you find to be compelling that came out of these foundries?
Company walked into our office in Israel. Okay, small company, 20, 30 people. And they claimed it and said, we can hand off calls from your cell towers, from one cell tower to another tower, better than all of your 4,000 network engineers. And all this help you're getting right now from Ericsson and from Alcatel-Lucent, which is an interesting concept, okay, for a company which hasn't had a long history in this space. But what they had was a very fresh lens towards it, and they came from the Israeli military, where they set up ad hoc networks which handed off. And as the founder said, please listen to us. Even though we haven't had experience in this, if our technology fails, we die. Okay? That's a pretty compelling argument. In the past, we would have laughed them out of the room. We said, let's try you, let's simulate it, let's run it. It worked. And we said, let's do a controlled trial, and everybody else said, it'll never work in real life. So we put it in a small neighborhood in San Francisco. It worked really well. Then they said it would never scale. Long story short, today it's rolled out in the entire country. It reduced our drop call percentage by 10%. I think this year, we were voted the most reliable network. And it increased our efficiency about a percentage point. For us, every percentage point is like $10 to $100 million. This one success paid for everything we've done to date in our innovation initiatives. And oh, by the way, Cisco just picked them up for $500 million.
How do you deal with failure?
Failure is an interesting one. Everybody likes to say, oh, you celebrate failure, and it's all really great. It is not easy. I put down as part of the goals 50% failure rate. And in fact, if we start failing less because we have 5 locations, if I see somebody not failing too much, we kind of do a questioning in front of everybody saying, are you taking enough risk? So when you're trying to target 50% failure rates for your projects, it kind of becomes easier. The other thing we do is when we actually fail, we publish on we have a collaboration wiki, blog wiki. We actually publish the learning so that the others can learn from, hey, we shut this project done today. Here's what we learned.